Thank you for the courtesy. Titingin ako kanina kay Bebot. You know, we were neighbors during our student days. He was in front of my room. Ang kasama ko po si Yasay. Sa kabila po si Bebot, who comes from Isabela, and Dulay sa BIR. Sa mga puro Ilocano itong halos lahat. I just also mentioned in passing, came from sa change of command. We have in your chief of staff, Guerrero, mukhang Ilocano rin and Anyo. He retired, but he would be an undersecretary as yet because there is a prohibition by law that he cannot assume the office for 1 year. So in the meantime, from being the chief of staff, he will just be occupying an undersecretary's office, but eventually he will be the Secretary of Interior and Local Governments. Inuna ko na po yan kasi si Bebot, nakita ko nakatindig kanina, talagang matanda ka na. And noon pa po, hindi pa yung uso yung style. Tignan mo yung sapatos niya. Walang medyas. Hindi na talaga nagmi-medyas itong taong to. Mama. So, it was just what you would call the niceties of life. Labor and Employment Secretary Silvestro Bello III, Professional Regulation Commission Chairman Teofilo Pilando Jr., PRC Commissioners Yolanda Reyes and Jose Cueto Jr., officials and members of the Professional Regulation Commission, mga kasama ko sa gobyerno, mga kababayan ko. I usually do this, but parang nakaka-insult ho naman na would you like to get rid of me immediately so I can finish this in about a minute and we can all go home after your dinner maybe. Pero kung gusto ninyo ng konting drama at may mga pwede rin tayong salo-salo. I usually do not give speeches. I just want to have a dialogue, a discussion with you, the crowd. But I am not into making speeches like, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I just came from the chains of command to see that things are done in the right way. Hindi ako ganun kasi ang bunganga ko, Bisaya, Tagalog, the mixture of everything. Kami hong mga Bebot was for a long time a resident of Davao City. Marunong ito si Bebot. Hinabol niya doon yung anak mismo ng mayor. So, for a while, may trabaho siya. Maganda ang buhay niya. Kasi son-in-law sa mayor. At, ewan ko, hiniwalayan rin siya. Pareho ako. Sama kami. I just would like to say to you that I won this presidency on a very short syllabus. Ang sinasabi ko lang sa kampanya, perhaps during the debates, presidential debates, narinig naman ninyo ako that I just placed my agenda on a short list. And I said that if you give me a chance to be president, if you think that I'm qualified, then I would promise to you that corruption will be controlled or eradicated if possible, then I will deal with the serious problem of the country, which is really drugs and criminality, because we in Mindanao really projected something like the coming of the extremist. And though we did not realize the dimensions of how it was being done, sub rosa, we knew that there was this activity connected with extremism. And it was only then when they started to raise their arms, we realized that they had kept an arsenal of ordnance and gunpowder and everything. And it took us about almost 4 months really to fight it out. The fighting has ended officially about a week ago, but may I just remind you to be vigilant and always aware that extremism is the problem of the planet today. And retaliation and vengeance is not far-fetched. So that you might want to just also be ready, not at this time, but to, I said, raise your awareness of how dangerous the world is today. Even in New York and wherever you go, I think the safest place to visit now would really be South America. Europe is a very dangerous place to visit. You would not know whether it's a lone wolf or a ton of explosives, hindi mo talaga mabasa. At ako dito, hirap rin kasi we have this festering problem in the South, and that is the extremism and terrorism to its worst. And you have seen so many people decapitated in front of the TV. We have to decide at some point, I hope it would not be during my time, that we'll just have to fight it out tooth and nail. No quarters given, no quarters asked. Kasi we cannot live in this world always, and we can never be attuned to this kind of life of danger. The NPAs must somehow also decide where they should go. Terrorism will always be there. I do not think it will be erased in a matter of maybe about 5 to 7 years. Until such time the ideology of destruction and killing is part of the gray matter between the ears of the terrorist. Pati nga ako natatakot in the sense that they might opt to yung lone wolf na naman, because they have tried massive violent activity and they were defeated. And they might, I said, opt to something more than just like a similar violent experimentation with the lone wolf. So yung mga truck na you plow in, the drive into a crowd and just kill anybody. I am a grandson of a Maranao. My mother was a half Maranao. My Lola married a Chinese, and but my father comes from Cebu, Danao. So in a way, I grew up with this kind of paradigm that there will always be something of, if not a war, then a bickering of territory. As of now, it is not really an issue of religion. It never has been, and it is not now. But maybe it will degrade into something just like using God God's name in vain, and killing and destroying. Kaya ako nagtataka. Take it from me, baka may ako ng I'm Maranao, and I said I can relate well with Muslims, but itong the use of Islam as an excuse is something which is really horrible. Yung paggamit ng and I cannot understand when we have to take hostages, and I would like to share with you some of the most painful experiences doon sa mga tao, pero because of the nature of andyan rin the Filipinos, I think we are covered nationwide. But sometime in the future I would, but I wish somebody would write. Kasi hindi talaga ito Islam. It was never a part of Islam to do such bullshit, rape, killing people. Mass rape, mass killing. I don't think even you'd be wasting your time believing in such a religion. Even I, from Mindanao, and a part of the Moro, hindi ko malunok-lunok yung gusto kong magmura, pero kasi nandito ako sa harap ninyo, lunukin ko na lang. No, corruption. In everything that you do in your profession, in the economic growth of the country, in the growth in the areas of construction, everything, infrastructure, well, whatever it is, even in the selling, corruption has always a part of our lives. And even during the time when I was mayor, ayaw ko naman magpahiro, but sila, a good a few thousand pesos is really intended for the boys. Kung hindi yung mayor na ugok, then yung mga engineer, then doon ka sa construction, city engineering, kasama pa bombero, magbili ka pa ng fire extinguisher. Alaman ninyo yan. So, lahat ng, mostly, the growth that we see now, especially dito sa infrastructure and business, whatever it is, there's always, or corruption has always been a part of what we see now. I realize that because I've been mayor for 23 years. And, well, in Davao, we started the practice of just giving them 2 or 3 days. I have done away with I don't know if Inday has still maybe she has not changed anything there. But yung electricity pati yung police kasama, this should only be one, and other licenses. Yan ang hirap. Yun yung maliliit na day-to-day realities ninyo sa how big your corporate body is in whatever undertaking. There is always that component of corruption. And in the matter of taxes, the ruling elite of this country has never had such any problem with the government. They do not pay taxes and they expect government to kneel them down because they hold power, they have the publications, and they have everything. So are the millionaires who contribute to the campaigns. And you are all businessmen, and maybe you can ask. I avoided money, especially coming from persons, the 400 of society who are there enjoying the benefits of governance, protection, and all, using public streets and not